The College Baseball Experience on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. They are offering plenty of markets this week for the PGA Championship that you can't find anywhere else. Sign up with promo code TCSGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. And it is showtime. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the College Baseball Experience. And hey, look, currently as of 12:55 a.m. Eastern Time, there are no betting odds for Friday's college baseball games. Don't ask me why. I'm not normally good at this type of content, but I think we just saw one of the best college baseball games that we're going to see all season long. It was on ESPN2. It was on the correct network to get plenty of eyes. I wanted to capture as many live viewers as I could late night here that are just looking and you just sit and talk about that freaking game that we just watched. Texas A&M 1, Arkansas 0, walk-off walk. Hell of a game. Had me on the edge of my seat the entire way. We'll get to that for sure here. I'm refreshing my page to make sure there are no betting odds before I just fully dissect this game. But it was pretty excellent. If you like a pitching duel, like that thing was right up your alley. All right. Doing a refresh of DraftKings as they are the originator of the college baseball betting market. And no game odds currently. Alrighty. So I wanted to check a score real quick before I dive in as well. I had a lot riding on that game too, by the way. I had Texas A&M money line. I had the under in that game. The under was never a doubt. Utah did not win against USC, so that was an L. We had Arizona State win. We had Texas A&M win. We had Kentucky win. Purdue lost for us. The under in Georgia Tech, Florida State hit. The under in Arkansas, Texas A&M hit. And West Virginia, TCU. I didn't see that one go final as I was pretty locked into this Texas A&M Arkansas game. That one finishes at 9, so that one goes under the total as well. So we go 3-0 on the totals today, and then 3-2 on the sides. So 6-2 day overall. We only lost 1.3 units basically. So that basically comes out to a 4.7 unit day. A 6-2 day, playing every one of them to hit 1 unit. Let's fucking go, dude. And then we had our final SEC total finalized today. Auburn steals a game against Alabama. Dude, we were straight up robbed the damn books today. Like, that was an amazing day. Couldn't have been better. And before I jump into the Arkansas Texas A&M game that I'm going to spend most of my time talking about today on this episode, we are running a mega Memorial Day merch sale with SGPN, 15% off everything in the merch store. Promo code SGPN May. Personally, like on the college experience brand, you can get our hats, you can get the t-shirts that we put out with the Dundee-isms throughout the last couple of months. We have plenty of merchandise over there that I think it's great material, and these hats are freaking sick. They're Richardson, and you can get them in 3 different styles. So good stuff for sure. You can get like snapback, you can get the trucker mesh, you can also get the I forget what it's called, but yeah, great stuff over there in the SGPN store. Let's talk about this Texas A&M Arkansas game. Personally, I was doubting that they would even get this thing in, honestly, because they had a shitload of rain. I'm pulling up my Twitter to go get this video. This was posted about 2 hours before they started this thing. The wind, the storms, the rain was ridiculous in College Station today. Not sure if you saw it or not, but that was nuts. Like, and the fact that they even got this game in is incredible. Like, so shout out to that grounds crew for getting the basically the warning track was a flat out river. Um, just nuts. Here we go. I'm sharing screen right now. I pulled up the video. If you're listening to this show, tune in on YouTube, the college experience, the college baseball experience on YouTube, because I'm pulling up this video on Twitter. And this is the weather that was in College Station. You can't even see the outfield grass, and the wind is whipping. It's just incredible that they even played the game today. It really is. Whoa. Now I'm too big for my liking. I don't want to see my face that zoomed in. But during the game, or at least during the rain delay, there were basically like bases loaded. If you've ever seen Bases Loaded, the show during the NCAA tournament time, they bounce around between games when runners are on base, or there's a notable hitter at the plate hitting, or just a pitcher's dealing. They jump into the action. Basically on SEC Network, they were doing that, bouncing back and forth from all the SEC games. It was tremendous. I wish they just did that normally. But they were showing grounds crew members taking towels, putting towels on the grass, and then walking them over like into the foul territory area outside of field of play, and just wrenching the towels out of the water. And then they were doing the same process over and over again. It was absolutely ridiculous. There was a legit river on the warning track. I'm not kidding you. That's how much water, standing water, was on this field. And then they played an 11-inning baseball game on it. Just insane work by the grounds crew for sure. So let's go through this. Hagen Smith sets the program record for strikeouts in Arkansas baseball history. This was a cool video that they put out. I've personally, so this flag in the background right here, the Point Park Pioneers flag, I've interviewed Arkansas's play-by-play man, Phil Elson, because he's actually a grad from the school that I went to, that I played baseball at. And just really cool hearing his voice on this video that Arkansas baseball Twitter put together. I'm pulling this up and we can share this now. But like, this game had it all. They broke records, like just an incredible game altogether. Here we go. This is him talking here throughout the entire video. So, yeah, that was really cool as well. Their video that they put out for Hagen Smith breaking the program record in strikeouts. They'll Deuce a Trip Life said it was silent. Damn it. All right. We're going to play it. I still have it up. Let's run it right back. Here we go. That's my fault. Amateur.
Two-time All-SEC pitcher for the Razorbacks, Nick Schmidt. Hagen Smith getting the ball, left-hand junior from Fuller, Texas. You're going to hear, no doubt, in DVH's voice that his ace lefty is going to go out and pitch like one today. He struck him out swinging. A 1-2-3 inning with 2 strikeouts. That's a little more what fans have been used to. He struck him out on a big breaking ball. Shuts him down with a 1-2-3 fifth inning. It includes his 8th strikeout. The pitch. He struck him out swinging. And 10 more strikeouts. This is historic. You've never seen anything like this before. I know I haven't. Have you?
So yeah, that was really cool stuff. I enjoyed that video a lot. Just having interviewed him before, that was a really cool thing to watch. I mean, Hagen Smith went 6 innings. I think he only gave up 2 runs. I'm pulling up the box score currently as we speak. He went 6 innings, 2 hits. I think he had like I can't even remember, but it was just dominant. And then Ryan Prager, like not the swing and miss powerful arm that you normally see on a Friday night from most aces, but he had his best shit today too. And it also helps from, an Arkansas offense that is in a little bit of a rut right now. And who knows, they might not even be like that great. Let's see. Do we have an official box score yet? We might be watching post-game pressers on this show too. That's not a bad idea. All right, let's go back to trying to find the legit box. I might have to go to Arkansas Twitter for this too. But I know he went 6 innings. I think he only gave up 2 hits. It's like so fresh that the game just ended and the box score's not out on whatever. So Hagen Smith went 6 innings, 2 hits, 14 strikeouts today. Just literally lost his mind on the mound. Insane. The box score is not available on either site right now because it's so fresh. But Hagen Smith was incredible today. Like the only start that really like I've seen this year that he looked even better was that Oregon State start where he had 17 Ks in 6 innings. Like he legit didn't strike out only 1 or 2 batters that he didn't face that entire day. Prager on the other hand, he was super solid as well. He went 7 innings. He took care of his pitch count a little bit better. But like I said, like because of the weather, I wasn't even expecting this game to really be played. I wasn't kind of expecting Hagen Smith to go deep into this one. I wasn't expecting Prager to go deep in this one. Just incredible. Prager went 7 innings with 9 strikeouts. I mean, both southpaws just brought their A+ stuff. Incredible game. And like I said, I'm not the greatest at recapping what I saw. That's not like my strong suit when I'm giving analysis talking about whatever. But dude, like great ass game. I'm gonna stall a little bit. Hopefully we get some betting odds after that thing finalizes. You could bet the second jewel of the Triple Crown with Naira Bets. Sign up today for a $200 deposit bonus with promo code SGPN200. Join now to claim your $200 deposit bonus just in time for the Preakness at NairaBets.com, NYRABets.com/SGPN200. Gear up for the Black-Eyed Susan Day at Pimlico and boost your Preakness bankroll with Naira Bets. Opt in and bet at least $150 each on Belmont at the Big A and Pimlico on Friday for a $30 bonus, win or lose. Earn more on the Preakness Stakes. Bet at least $200 on Belmont at the Big A and Pimlico for a $40 bonus, win or lose. Opt in to win at NairaBets.com. That's not all. Score big with a 20% bonus on ticket winnings by hitting an exacta on any or all races at Belmont at the Big A on Sunday. Get in and get your bonuses at NYRABets.com/200. The NBA playoffs are here, and our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy, wants to make it a lot more interesting for you guys. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats like rebounds, assists, and so much more. Make entries of all basketball or mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a lot of fun. Underdog is available in 30 plus states, including California, Texas, and even Canada. Personally, I was writing nightly articles for the college basketball season. For the college basketball experience, we were hitting at 62%. When you're making money on a bunch of markets that aren't normally offered anywhere else, is plenty of fun. Again, Underdog is available in 30 plus states, including California, Texas, and even Canada. They also just launched their Champions, which is their player versus player format in Florida. And then also they're now legal for drafting in the state of Michigan. So sign up today with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your first special pick, plus your first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. Underdog Fantasy, promo code TCESGPN. All right, the YouTube chat's buzzing. I was watching that go as I was reading the ads here. Deuce of Trip Life says, I don't think I've ever asked this, but what position did you play when you played? I was a catcher and a first baseman. So to answer your question, Deuce, I was a third baseman basically my entire life growing up. My dad was a college coach, and then when he got out of it, he jumped in and started coaching my travel team. Basically, my 9U team, the head coach got kicked out of the organization because he was ejected out of 2 games. I mean, it's just 9U. Like, what are you doing? Why are you arguing with umpires like 24/7? So it was an issue, and I mean, they just knew my dad was a college coach. So they asked him to step in, and he took over basically from 10U to 12U. I was mixing in at catcher. I was also a pitcher because I was one of the harder throwing guys on the team as well. But I was always kind of a third baseman. But I played multiple positions growing up too. I played multiple sports. So like in the fall, I didn't play football. I played hockey. I played golf in the fall. In the winter, I played hockey, of course. In the summer, I played baseball. When I went into high school, I wanted a fall sport to play like in front of high school friends or whatever. So I picked up the sport tennis, and I actually got really good at tennis. I wish I started it earlier because I probably would have been able to get into a more prestigious school with a tennis scholarship than I did baseball scholarship, just with my size and all that working against me baseball wise. But either way, I had a ton of fun. And yeah, third baseman was kind of where I was mainly at. But like I said, I kind of played all over in travel ball growing up. Into college, I was recruited as a third baseman and a pitcher. My freshman year was 2019 going into 2020. So the season was the winter and spring of 2020. That's when COVID hit. So basically there was no season at all. Then the next year, the entire recruiting class for 2020 came in. All of the seniors from that were supposed to graduate in 2020 came back. So it was a loaded class. 70 plus kids. It was like 76 kids. Cole Thyssen asked what happened in the Utah game. The Utes lost 6-5. They were trailing early, like 1-0 with Bryson Van Sickle on the mound. And they just, for whatever reason, wasn't able to scratch enough runs across again. At that point, I was kind of prepping for games to come out betting odds wise, and didn't have my eyes on many other games outside of the Arkansas Texas A&M game. He goes, it was entering the 4-2 entering the 9th. All right, I gotta go find this now. Because yeah, so the bullpen blew it. I'm going into this game real quick, and I'll continue. Utah scored USC scored 4 runs in the 8th inning. So it was 4-2 going into. So it was 4-2 after the 6th. Utah scored 5 runs in the top of the 5th, and they didn't score again until they pushed 1 across in the 9th. USC out-hit them in the game. Can't complain about it. I had an amazing day with the card that we gave out both here on the show. If you just listen to the show with the 4 money lines that we gave out, it was just a 2-2. Oh, and the parlay hit with Mississippi State and Clemson. So that was one that I forgot on. That's the second time I've done that on a tweet that recently has gone out. I forgot the parlay in Mississippi State and Clemson. So last night's show went 3-2 overall. And then the totals that I added onto the tweet were 3-0. So it was an outstanding day. So basically my sophomore year, technically athletic freshman year, there was like 70 plus kids in our program. And I made it through winter. I was put on the taxi squad, didn't really play any games. It was just a really it was a gigantic roster. And it wasn't legal to carry, I think it was 28 players. And I was like 28 through 32. We had 4 guys on the taxi. It was 1 catcher and 3 pitchers. So we would travel, but we didn't play. My junior year. So actually, no, I'm not gonna tell that story. So my junior year, my 3rd and final year of college, did the same thing. And I came in a little bit out of shape after my sophomore year. Basically the same kind of thing went through. I made it through fall into winter. They put me on the JV team. There was no taxi squad that year. I pitched about 8 times. It is what it is. I wasn't in my prime my junior year, so I'll say that. So yes, my coach did what he was supposed to do and he kept recruiting. So basically, just by the nature of the game, I was kind of recruited over. I also wasn't in prime shape to compete for the third base position, but I was a 3/4 low slot arm. I just didn't have the greatest year on the mound my junior year. So it was like $40K for school. So I'm still paying off loans and shit. But it just wasn't worth it to go back for a 4th year when I knew it was kind of going to be more of the same. And my coach was Puerto Rican, so he had really good reach into the Dominicans, into the Hispanic islands in the Caribbean, and like 75% of the team Hispanic. So like it was fun. Those guys can hit the shit out of the ball. Funny story. So like most of the kids down in the Caribbean area, they don't throw curveballs. They don't throw sliders when they grow up. So a lot of these kids came into our program having not seen a slider or just a spinning baseball before. Kind of funny because I was able to just toy with them with a 3/4 slider half the time. It was very, very fun to be a pitcher on that team in the fall when we did a ton of inter squad scrimmages and stuff like that. Going back into the YouTube chat, he goes, so Elijah Epperson says Noah was a pitcher. Dusa Triple H says, hell yeah, brother. That's how I was with football. Played almost every position, but keep up the good work. Your insight really helps. Won a lot of money off of your picks with this year with basketball and baseball. And Dusa Triple H said he caught USC plus 250 live. Nice hit for sure. And yeah, basketball I picked up. Basically, I was a distracted student. I hated school. I always had sports on, and when I was the moment I turned 18, I was playing on offshores. I was just putting $2, $5, managing my bankroll at very minimal stakes on offshores. And once I turned 20, like I was doing this show when I was 20, betting on Bovada. And once I turned 21, it was like the training wheels were already off the bike and I was jumping into a car instead of getting on a bicycle. That was just the way I was raised. I mean, my grandpa bookie, but like he had a huge baseball background, like the entire family. We poker, sports betting, that's what it was. And my dad, not as much anymore. Like he doesn't really care for, or he's not following what I'm doing. I would say he's interested, but he hasn't gotten into it since, I don't know, probably 10 years or so. Every once in a while he'll pick up blackjack, but that's it. And this show is just kind of turned into story time. Like I said, I wanted to jump on, talk live to you guys right after that Texas A&M Arkansas game, but doesn't look like we've got betting odds. I don't even have a box score to kind of read through what happened, but in the 11th inning, basically, Arkansas got into some trouble. Texas A&M strung together 2 hits. Then they intentionally walked Jackson Appel, and then walked Ted Burton. The bases were loaded. They walked in the winning run, and unfortunately lost one of the best games of the season. It was an anticlimactic ending. No betting odds, unfortunately. So after this second ad read, I'll go through the scoreboard for tomorrow's games, what's currently scheduled. There's been a lot of weather impending time changes for a lot of these games. I'll just kind of go through anything off the top of my head with the matchup. I'll blurt it out, but we'll get out of here in a half-hour show or whatever. Game Time is now in an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. You can pick specific games or matchups that you'd love to attend. Personally, I waited till the last minute to go see Jack Leiter's MLB debut when he visited Detroit with the Texas Rangers. I got $16 tickets. That was the get in the door price for the rookie debut. I basically just went down to the fourth row and enjoyed the ball game with my Game Time tickets. The app uses customize your spot, which is a really cool feature. And basically you can view a panoramic view of your seats before you buy on the app. Toggling this feature shows the total up front as well, with no surprise fees at checkout. It's the lowest. They also have a lowest price guarantee on Game Time where they will credit you 110% of the difference if you find a better price on the market. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem. The code is CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. So I'll run through some of the bigger notable games today. Texas walked off Kansas. There was apparently some drama with the umpires in this one. Somebody was adding me during this game when I was monitoring a couple other games. Also, the American Country Music Awards were on the night, so I had all the monitors going in my basement. So Texas won that game 5-4. Really close, contested game. Looks like Dutton pitched pretty well. Texas didn't score against him until the fifth, where they pushed one across, and then they got two across in the sixth. 5-4 final, like I said there. Florida State really struggled offensively again to really kind of put anything up early. Aiden Finateri probably had a pretty good outing overall, limited a ton of damage early, and then Florida State put up 3 in the 8th there. The Commonwealth Clash, Virginia gets a 7-3 win over their rival Virginia Tech. The Hokies are hanging on the dear life for their at-large bid hopes. Mississippi State, I mean, that one was sweaty as shit. I don't know why you only get 5 hits against Missouri, and they started a kid who only has 15 innings under his belt. I didn't watch a lick of this one early. I turned it on late after the Florida-Georgia game went final, but there's no need for that one to get close. Oklahoma took both of the games today against Cincinnati in the doubleheader, so that kind of, ripped the dream for Cincinnati's NCAA tournament hopes, I think. Tennessee, rocked South Carolina's world today. Ty Good was kind of left out to dry by South Carolina as well, so they're going to go back to the drawing board, and they'll try to throw the kitchen sink in either game 2 or game 3 to get their 14th SEC conference win. Georgia just embarrassed Florida. They put up 4 early in the first 2 innings, kind of stripped away Florida's will. Colton Smith looked really good to me. I'm close. I had the urge. I was like, if Colton Smith's going to pitch this well, they have Leighton Finley, who's been pretty good most of the year. Charlie Goldstein's coming back. He's not quite fully stretched out like he was before his time off, but I'm really close to pouncing on a Georgia ticket for the national championship. Haven't done it yet, but I think if you don't have a ton of tickets out there, Georgia is a red hot team, and they're figuring it out on the mound, which is what they need to do. NC State blows out Wake Forest 14-3. Mercied the Demon Deacons there. I mean, like I said, they are a true enigma. Chase Burns didn't start that game, so he's going to go in game 2 here on Friday. That one should be interesting. Wake should be up and ready for the task with their best on the bump. And then they have Hartle going in game 3. I won't be able to do a show, unfortunately, previewing Saturday's games. That's why I was full sending it. Going to do a show today no matter what. Duke, like I said, throw the kitchen sink in game 1. They'll probably, they won't press to win game 2 or game 3. They got their one game against North Carolina across the finish line. I think Duke is going to be good here. Again, they're not going to try to, risk any of their arms in that pitching staff after they've already lost their top dog in Santucci for a little bit here. Oregon State and Aiden May, I completely handicapped this game wrong. I went with Chip Hale, the offensive head coach, with an average offense. I thought that they would have the scouting report ready to go against their old teammate, but turns out it was a Aiden May revenge game. He absolutely mowed. He had 7 strikeouts through like 6 innings in that one. It wasn't really close. And honestly, I'll take an Oregon State sweep. I have Oregon State as a future to win that conference. I got it early when the market opened the day of. It's either like a plus 250 or plus 300 ticket on Oregon State, and they closed like minus 115. So that one's a really good price. Clemson, cardiac Clemson, they give it 5 runs in the first inning. And I'm sitting here like, what in the world is going on with this team that I used to know? And then I just remember like games go 9 innings and this team loves to play from behind. I don't know what it is, but they never say die. But personally, I would love it if they built some leads in their baseball games. We had the Texas A&M game where A&M only had 5 hits. One of them was a bunt single. Another one was an infield single. They only had 2 walks in the game, and both of them came in the 11th inning, and it allowed them to win the game against Arkansas. And then the last one here on this sheet for me to read off that I wanted to talk about was Kentucky, the lock of the day for me. 10-5 victory over Vanderbilt. They put up 7 runs on Bryce Cunningham. For those that are listening on audio, I'm just shrugging. I'm just doing my Jordan shrug because I told you. Hasty says, let's fucking go Kentucky. James Roberts says, Utah, not surprisingly, broke my heart. That's the last time I'll trust the Mormons. A&M, or Hasty says, A&M win was wow. And then he also says, all good, Noah. Never a terrible idea to back the Wildcats, the W-I-L-D Cats, W-I-L-D Wildcats. That's Colby Sound Drop. Let's go to the top 25 games on Friday. I'll kind of sprint through my thoughts on most of these games. I'll try refreshing DraftKings one more time, see if we get any betting odds. YOLO. It's worth the shot. 1:30 in the morning. They probably won't come out till like 3 a.m. I've been up to 3 a.m. Sometimes with these, and they drop. Nope, no betting odds. Oh well. All right, let's zoom through a couple of these games here that are going on tomorrow. Also going to pull up my trusty source for pitching, probable pitchers in Friday starters. Let's go. All right. So looks like on Warren Nolan anyways. This is the site that I'm scrolling here. First one, so Indiana State, Valparaiso. I don't think we're going to get betting odds on that one. First one that we might get betting odds here, Oklahoma State, Houston. And Oklahoma State started Carson Benj in game 1. I didn't have any eyes on this one. Oh, so they didn't even play game 1. So this is a doubleheader on Friday. They pushed Thursday's game back. Carson Benj on the mound for game 1. Sam Garcia on the mound for game 2 for Oklahoma State. I remember that. Houston went with Kyle Lacalametto, and Antoine Jean. Jean's the one here that's notable for me, the one that I would want to back here, if anything, or just stay off of, I should say. So game 1, which is going to be the game that we get offered for betting odds, that would be the game that I want to play for Oklahoma State against Houston. The next game here is Louisiana. Oh, that one's going to be a continued game, so we're not going to get betting odds on Louisiana, South Alabama. The Raging Cajuns currently lead the Jaguars 6-4 in the top of the 7th inning. Oklahoma, Cincy for game 3. Both of them have to-be-announced pitchers. UNC and Duke. Duke has a to-be-announced. UNC put out a guy, Shea Sprague. I mean, like I said, I handicapped the series as Duke probably exhausted most of their top options out of the pen, and they used Kyle Johnson on Friday. I think that's North Carolina's series to win on Friday and Saturday here in games 2 and 3. Florida, Georgia. I mean, Florida needed to win today's game. That was the one that set up for them well matchup-wise. Liam Peterson has looked better as of late. He's the freshman right-hander. He pitched well against Kentucky, and he pitched good against Tennessee. Those were his last 2 SEC starts. But Leighton Finley's been like the most steady, consistent starting pitcher for Georgia this season. Colton Smith, if he can consistently deliver starting games, Georgia's a completely different team, like I said earlier. And I feel like Georgia's going to throw everything in this game because they also have a TBA in game 3. So I feel like they're going to gun for the series win, get their national seed in the hosting picture. And who cares about the third one with Jack Caglione? Why save somebody to face Jack Caglione, Florida's best option, when you can just go out and win game 2, right? So Georgia probably wins game 2, in my opinion. Florida State, Georgia State. Florida State's going to be vulnerable if the offense can't pick it up and they're not going to have Jamie Arnold on the mound. Who do they have this weekend? So it's Carson Dorsey, no Whitaker, no Leiter here for game 2. Cameron Jones has been all right for Georgia Tech recently. Not great. I probably won't have a play on that one. It would be an over if Florida State, I felt comfortable with their offense right now, but I don't. The next game that we'll probably see betting odds on is Virginia Tech, Virginia. Both of them have TBAs, I believe. I'm checking that up right now. I remember seeing just only Evan Blanco for Virginia, and yeah, nothing for Virginia Tech either, unfortunately. Boston College, Clemson. I feel irrationally good about Clemson. Like, they're just my team. They're going up against Boston College. For some reason, Boston College hit 5 home runs today. They usually don't have that pop. It's a below average offense most weekends. AJ Colarusso for Boston College is getting the start against Tristan Smith. Smith has had 2 rough starts in a row. He only went 2.1 against Georgia Tech and then 4.1 against Wake. He got rocked against Wake. He allowed 5 walks too. So he's not pitching the best after returning from injury. That one's probably a stay away if it opens anywhere near the minus 315 that it did for today's game. Tennessee, South Carolina. This one, I feel like Tennessee should win this. I would bet. So South Carolina released the TBA for this game, and Tennessee's got Drew Beam going. I would bet that Eli Jones starts this game. He started last Saturday. Again, I didn't watch or look at the box score to see if he pitched in this first game, but they were really never in it, so I don't know why they would have pitched Eli Jones. So I think it's going to be Drew Beam against Eli Jones. I feel pretty good about Tennessee winning that game. If that one's reasonable, that one's going to be bet or a parlay piece for sure. Vanderbilt against Kentucky. Carter Holton's the one that I feel probably the most confident in with this Vanderbilt staff on the road. And he's going up against Dom Neiman, who's been shaky to say the best recently for Kentucky. Hey, if Kentucky loses a game and Tennessee wins 2 or 3, and Kentucky loses 2 or they lose 1 and Tennessee sweeps South Carolina, Tennessee wins the conference outright, I'm all right with that. I think, though, like this game, this is the one that slates best for Vanderbilt to win. And they even have a chance if J.D. Thompson pitches like he did last weekend in Game 3 against Mason Moore. The next game here is Wake Forest, NC State. Again, like the biggest enigma in college sports to me, in college baseball to me right now, is this NC State team. I have absolutely no read on this team. They absolutely blitzed Wake Forest today. However, Chase Burns on the mound, you're probably going to get like a really juiced line on Wake Forest. And Burns has had 2 incredible outings in a row. Clemson, 2 hits in 7 innings, only gave up 1 run. It wasn't earned. And then Western Carolina, or actually that was earned. It was a homer. Western Carolina, 6 innings. He gave up 0 hits, 0 runs. He had 13 strikeouts. Against Clemson, he had 16 strikeouts. Then his 3 starts ago against Notre Dame, he had 14 strikeouts. Like, he's just absolutely been rolling recently. So Chase Burns probably aids NC State, or probably aids Wake Forest to a win over NC State, who's starting Dom Fritton in this game. He's 3-5 with a 7.41 ERA. That would be the pick I feel pretty good about there. Mississippi State's going to be another parlay piece. I know it was really sweaty in that first game with Cal Steven on the mound. It shouldn't have been, but it was. They still got the W. Urangelo Sanja on the mound. I feel really good about Mississippi State winning this one. Again, Missouri has a TBA in this matchup, so fade the TBA. Go with one of the best Saturday start, or just game 2 starters in the SEC. I know it's Friday this week, but same thing. Arkansas, Texas A&M, I don't really have any read. Both teams exhausted their best options out of the bullpen today. Everybody threw the kitchen sink. Both staffs did in that Friday game that went 11 innings. Arkansas has announced that they're starting Gage Wood. Texas A&M has not announced that they're starting anybody, so they have a TBA there. I don't feel good about that game at all. I would side with the Texas A&M offense. I would probably side with them all 3 games in this series, but I'm not going to be betting them, I don't believe. The only time I'll trot back out with a bet on Texas A&M money line would be in Game 3 if Arkansas has used all of their top options or something. Like if they go with Gage Wood and then they relieve if they use Mason Molina in relief after Gage Wood, that would be when I bet Texas A&M again here. I'd probably lean Texas over Kansas. We won't get that second game for Oklahoma State Houston because that's a doubleheader. Oregon State Arizona is really fun. I'm rooting for Oregon State to just sweep this series now after they won Game 1 pretty convincingly. Jacob Kmatz hasn't had he's had 2 rough starts in a row here against Washington State. He gave up 5 runs in 5 innings with 8 hits given up in those 5 innings. And then against UCLA, he gave up 6 runs in 2.2 innings. He's going up against Arizona's Clark Candiati, who's been pretty solid this year. 6-2, 3.01 ERA and 77.2 innings. I don't know. I'm rooting for Oregon State now. Like, that's kind of where my headspace is. I would say if I'm using my brain trying to handicap this game, I feel like Arizona's live to win one of these 2 remaining games with either Candiati or Cam Walty on the mound. I think they get one of the 2. But rooting for the Beavers there for my future pick, my future's bet on Oregon State in the preseason. Last game here is Washington State at Oregon. I feel pretty good about Oregon winning that game. That's going to wrap it up for the show. Thank you all for tuning in live here after the Arkansas Texas A&M game. Sorry I wasn't really able to deliver, real analysis betting picks wise on these games. Again, like, I got nothing with the odds. Hopefully you enjoyed some of my story time as well. I'm refreshing odds page on DraftKings and we've got nothing. All right. So I gave it my best tomorrow. And so tomorrow night, Friday night, and then Saturday all day, I'll be in Grand Rapids, Michigan, helping my buddy move in, housewarming party. And then we're going out on the town. That's going to be my last day out for the entire season. After that, nightly episodes of college baseball content. Granted, we have college baseball odds. My fingers are freaking crossed because this year has not been consistent as the first 2 years with having odds ready to go to make content from. So, and also just hammer the opening lines. The market is growing, and I have a feeling they're losing quite a bit of money this year compared to the first 2 years. So yeah, I mean, in recap, it was an outstanding day for me. We went 7-2. We went 3-0 on the totals, 3-2 on the money lines, and then the parlay hit. So 7-2 overall today. The fourth and final win total came through for us. I posted a video on Twitter of me celebrating that while Post Malone was singing at the ACMs. And I thought that was kind of funny. That one's done well on Twitter. Thank you, Get Stilly. He says, "Go Pokes." Thanks again for doing this. I appreciate it, Stilly, for sure. I didn't realize it when you were commenting with Rocco on the bracketology, but I like the name Stilly for Stillwater. It just now clicked. Yeah, I appreciate the gratuity for sure. Alrighty. Sorry I wasn't able to deliver with betting picks today, but it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Thanks for joining today's live. And if you listen to this on the audio side, I really appreciate it because you didn't really have to stick around this long. But thank you for tuning into this episode of the College Baseball Experience. You better start thinking about yours. Adios.